Okay, today we pause amidst the endless scroll of notifications, the ceaseless chase of likes, and the quiet anxiety that hums beneath modern life. Can true peace be found not by gaining, but by giving? Welcome to Stoic Dhamma, a space where Stoic philosophy meets the timeless wisdom of the East, inviting you to slow down, reflect, and explore the stillness within. Today we journey into the intersection of Karma Yoga and the Stoic mindset, discovering how selfless action can lead to inner calm, freedom from expectation, and a life guided not by reward, but by purpose. Through reflective storytelling, ancient insights, and gentle meditation on our choices, we explore how serving others can become a path to profound serenity. From here, we turn to a quiet yet profound teaching shared by both Stoicism and Karma Yoga. The true measure of any action lies not in its outcome, but in the intention and the attitude behind it. Imagine performing a task, whether small or significant, without tethering your heart to reward, praise, or recognition. Writing an email, preparing a meal, or helping a colleague becomes an exercise in pure action, free from expectation. The value lies not in the applause it might garner, but in the dedication and care invested in the effort itself. Epictetus reminds us that control belongs only to our own choices and responses, not to external circumstances, while Karma Yoga teaches that acting with wholehearted commitment, yet surrendering the results, is the highest form of service. Now imagine living each day in this spirit. Your deeds, listening attentively, offering support, completing routine tasks, are performed freely, without anticipation of reward or acknowledgement. There is a subtle liberation in this surrender, a space that opens within the mind where anxiety, craving, and restlessness cannot take root. Over time, practicing action without attachment teaches a profound truth. Freedom is not found in accumulation, acquisition, or control, but in letting go. The mind grows lighter, calmer, and more present, finding satisfaction in the integrity of effort rather than in outcomes. In this way, both Stoicism and Karma Yoga guide us toward a life of mindful engagement, where intention shapes action and selflessness brings a quiet, enduring sense of freedom. Each act, however ordinary, becomes a small meditation, a step toward inner clarity, and a path to experiencing the deeper serenity that arises when we release attachment to results and embrace the purity of devoted action itself. Consider the rhythm of nature itself. Rivers flow continuously, never expecting applause. Trees bear fruit, offering nourishment without seeking gratitude. The sun rises and sets, unbothered by recognition. These natural processes unfold effortlessly, in harmony with their inherent purpose, without striving for reward or acknowledgement. Both Stoicism and Karma Yoga invite us to mirror this rhythm within ourselves. By shifting our focus from outcomes to the integrity and care of our actions, we cultivate a steady calm, a trust in life's natural unfolding, and a sense of inner peace that remains resilient, regardless of fortune or misfortune. When action becomes aligned with principle rather than driven by external gain, each task, whether mundane or significant, becomes an opportunity to practice presence, patience, and intention. But there is another layer to this understanding, one that touches the heart of human experience. When service is offered selflessly, it transforms the very nature of work and relationships. Actions are no longer transactions aimed at reward or recognition. They become expressions of character, reflections of virtue, and vehicles for cultivating inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius, navigating the immense responsibilities of empire, repeatedly reflected on the importance of fulfilling duty for its own sake, not for acclaim or praise. In his writings, he emphasized that moral excellence arises not from the approval of others, but from the steadfast alignment of thought, intention, and action. Similarly, Karma Yoga teaches that when we perform actions for the benefit of others, without desire for recognition or reward, the mind gradually loosens its grip on fear, envy, and attachment. In this space, the practitioner experiences a subtle yet profound liberation, a freedom that comes not from external circumstances, but from the mastery of one's own heart and mind. This dual insight, mirroring the effortless rhythm of nature and acting selflessly within human relationships, offers a transformative perspective on daily life. Work, duties, and interpersonal interactions are no longer burdens to endure or means to gain. They become arenas for practicing virtue, presence, and deliberate care. In embodying these principles, we cultivate a mind that is calm in turbulence, compassionate in action, and deeply attuned to the integrity of each moment. The synergy of Stoicism and Karma Yoga thus provides a pathway to live ethically, mindfully, and freely, where inner liberation arises naturally from devotion to purpose rather than attachment to outcome. Now imagine bringing these principles into daily life. A morning walk to clear your mind, a kind gesture offered without expectation, or a challenge met with calm equanimity. Each action, freed from craving, becomes a building block in a quiet fortress of inner serenity. By shifting the question from, "What will I gain?" to, "How shall I act rightly?" we move closer to the Stoic ideal of self-mastery and the yoga path of selfless service. As this perspective deepens, a subtle but profound shift occurs in how we perceive effort and outcome. The constant noise of reward-driven thinking softens, making room for deliberate presence and mindful awareness. Each act, no matter how ordinary, becomes a meditation. Every moment an opportunity to practice detachment and integrity. The mind begins to rest in its own steadiness, finding satisfaction in the quality of action, rather than in external validation or recognition. In this way, selfless action goes beyond ethics. It reshapes consciousness itself. With consistent practice, the mind becomes calmer, freer, and more reflective, cultivating resilience, clarity, and a lasting sense of inner freedom. Each deliberate act, performed without attachment to reward, serves as a small meditation, training the heart to rest in presence rather than clinging. A question naturally arises. If one serves without expecting return, can the heart access a deeper freedom than personal gain allows? Both Stoicism and Karma Yoga suggest that it can. In the surrender of expectation, there is a subtle yet enduring serenity. The mind, no longer tossed by outcomes or desires, aligns with the natural rhythm of life, finding a quiet sanctuary of purpose and equanimity. By embracing this approach, we embark on a journey not toward external reward, but toward inner liberation. Each mindful choice, each action freely offered, becomes a step along the path of selfless service. In doing so, the soul discovers the stillness, clarity, and depth of freedom that Stoics and yogis alike have cherished across centuries. Imagine traveling back in time to eras defined by uncertainty, upheaval, and the impermanence of life. In ancient India, the Bhagavad Gita offered guidance to warriors and seekers alike, teaching that one's duty, performed with dedication and without attachment to results, was the highest form of service. This path, Karma Yoga, emphasized selfless action, where the act itself carried moral and spiritual significance beyond material reward. In a period when kingdoms rose and fell, the Gita offered a steadying principle. Disciplined inner effort and surrender to righteous action could stabilize the soul, even amid chaos. Across the Mediterranean, Stoicism emerged in Greece and Rome, addressing a similar need for clarity in a world rife with political turmoil, plagues, and human conflict. Epictetus, a freed slave, taught that true freedom lay in discerning what is within our control and what is not. By focusing on internal choice rather than external circumstance, he illuminated a path to mental liberation. Seneca, amid the intrigues of imperial Rome, described the mind as a sanctuary, untouched by fortune or misfortune, where calm and rational judgment could be cultivated. Marcus Aurelius, both emperor and philosopher, exemplified the balance of public duty and personal reflection, reminding us that service to community is inseparable from the cultivation of virtue. These two traditions, though separated by geography and culture, resonate profoundly. Both arose in turbulent societies, both confronted life's fleeting nature, and both offered frameworks to navigate existence with integrity. Karma Yoga teaches that performing duty without clinging to outcomes liberates the mind from anxiety. Stoicism emphasizes understanding what lies within our power, our intentions, attitudes, and responses, allowing us to meet external turbulence with equanimity. In both, service to others becomes a mirror for self-knowledge. To act rightly for the benefit of others is simultaneously to deepen insight into one's own mind. Epictetus emphasized the importance of distinguishing what we can control from what we cannot. Every desire for recognition, every worry about results, falls outside our true jurisdiction. The Stoic practitioner anchors in intention, aligning action with virtue rather than reward. Similarly, the Gita stresses that detachment from outcomes does not reduce responsibility. Rather, it sharpens focus, guiding one to act with clarity, courage, and compassion. Both traditions converge on the same insight. The quality of action matters more than the result. Yet there is a deeply human dimension. In both Stoicism and the Gita, the individual exists within a network of relationships, obligations, and community. Marcus Aurelius, even while governing an empire, reflected on responsibilities to family, friends, citizens, and society. Karma Yoga likewise situates action within the world, emphasizing service aligned with Dharma, the moral law. Service is not abstract. It manifests in daily interactions, demanding empathy, patience, and discernment. Living with this dual lens, Stoic inner freedom and yoga's call for selfless duty, transforms perspective. Actions are guided by moral clarity, while remaining tenderly aware of the interconnectedness of life. Service becomes both ethical responsibility and a path to personal liberation. The restless mind, once dominated by desire and fear, gradually finds stability. Each act becomes an opportunity to practice detachment, patience, and wisdom, cultivating calm presence amid uncertainty. Philosophical reflection deepens this approach. Seneca encourages contemplation of mortality and the fleeting nature of worldly goods, sharpening the mind for meaningful action. The Gita repeatedly highlights the impermanence of material gains, urging practice in awareness of the eternal self. Integrating these insights, service transforms from mere obligation into deliberate, conscious engagement. Even small actions resonate with intention, echoing through the mind as both duty and meditation. A crucial layer emerges. Both traditions link self-understanding and service. To act without ego or attachment requires insight into one's own motives and desires. Epictetus often reminded students that self-deception clouds judgment. Clarity comes from rigorous examination of thoughts and impulses. In the Gita, Krishna guides Arjuna to discern the eternal self from transient roles and attachments. With self-awareness, service becomes authentic and spontaneous, nourishing both those served and the practitioner's own spirit. Applied to daily life, these lessons reshape engagement. Work, relationships, and community involvement are no longer driven solely by ambition or expectation. Action arises from principle and awareness, cultivating resilience and calm. In moments of frustration or adversity, the mind observes, accepts, and responds with equanimity. Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius converge with the wisdom of the Gita, providing a map for navigating life's turbulence with dignity, responsibility, and serenity. The convergence is not only philosophical, but also practical. Both Stoicism and Karma Yoga emphasize daily reflection, journaling, meditation, contemplation of duties, and mindful action. These iterative practices gradually refine character and intention. Understanding oneself and serving others reinforce each other. The clearer the mind, the more effective and compassionate the service, the more selfless the service, the quieter and freer the mind. Consider the remarkable resilience and altruism of humans across history. Even in dire circumstances, individuals have acted with integrity and compassion. These traditions illuminate why such acts arise not from fleeting emotion, but from cultivated understanding and alignment with higher principles. Karma Yoga and Stoicism provide methods to nurture this alignment, transforming ordinary life into a laboratory of ethical action and inner wisdom. Viewed collectively, Service is never merely transactional. It is dynamic, linking personal growth with contribution to the broader world. The ancient texts and lives of Stoic sages remind us that the pursuit of virtue and selfless action is timeless, guiding humanity through uncertainty. From the Gita's battlefield to the marble halls of Rome, from historical challenge to modern life, one principle endures. Self-understanding and service are inseparable, offering a path to clarity, freedom, and inner peace. In conclusion, while culture and context differ, the essence of both traditions converges. Stoicism and Karma Yoga call us to examine the motives behind our deeds, to embrace responsibility with calm, and to release attachment to outcomes. They provide tools to navigate chaos with dignity, cultivate meaningful contribution, and guide the mind toward freedom and the heart toward serenity. This shared wisdom reveals a timeless truth. Self-understanding and service are twin pillars of enlightened living, whether in ancient civilizations or contemporary life. Now imagine carrying the ancient wisdom of Karma Yoga and Stoicism from theory into the flow of everyday life, where intentions meet reality. It is one thing to read about selfless action and mindful detachment. It is another to inhabit these principles in the quiet moments of the day. The true challenge and the profound reward lies in transforming ordinary routines, work, relationships, and private reflection into a continuous practice of selfless service and inner freedom. In this translation from philosophy to action, every choice becomes a subtle exercise in virtue. Start with the workplace, where the constant pull of recognition, reward, and achievement shapes behavior and expectations. By bringing the spirit of Karma Yoga into professional life, we learn to focus on the intrinsic value and integrity of the work itself, rather than the applause it may attract. Completing a task with careful attention and dedication to purpose becomes inherently fulfilling. Stoicism complements this by reminding us that outcomes are never fully under our control. The only true domain we can govern is our effort and attitude. As this mindset deepens, work no longer feels like a battleground of anxiety over success or failure. Each project and decision transforms into a meditation, a daily exercise in presence, diligence, and ethical engagement. Extend this perspective to relationships, which offer fertile ground for selfless service. Listening without judgment, offering support without expectation, and responding with empathy rather than calculation reflect both Stoic detachment and Karma Yoga's surrender of results. Approaching connections this way cultivates freedom from reactive attachment, allowing kindness and generosity to flow naturally. Fully present interactions nurture both others and ourselves, fostering the quiet serenity that arises from authentic, selfless engagement. The practice reaches beyond external actions into the inner life, the richest ground for detachment and mindful service. Stoic reflection and Karma Yoga complement each other. Journaling mirrors the mind, capturing thoughts and impulses without judgment, fostering self-awareness and refined action. Paired with Karma Yoga-inspired meditation, the mind learns to observe cravings, fears, and expectations without attachment, cultivating lasting inner freedom and clarity. Imagine beginning the day with this awareness. A few quiet minutes in the morning allow you to set an intention, to act with integrity, serve without desire, and engage with the world without losing equanimity. Each task, emails, errands, meetings, becomes an opportunity to practice detachment, offering effort without attachment to results. Effort transforms from a source of stress into a channel for virtue, with every act planting seeds of inner calm. Mindful service can also emerge in small, everyday gestures, holding the door, helping a colleague, preparing a meal with attention. When performed consciously and without expectation, these acts embody Stoic and yogic principles. Repeated over time, they cultivate generosity, patience, and presence, gradually shaping character and reinforcing the habit of acting for the sake of action itself, rather than for reward. Detachment, central to both Stoicism and Karma Yoga, is not withdrawal from life but freedom within engagement. It is the ability to act fully without being caught by desire or aversion. This principle can guide daily decisions, facing challenges at work without panic, responding to criticism with calm discernment, and embracing uncertainty with equanimity. A mind trained in detachment observes events clearly and responds with intentional, measured action rather than automatic reaction. Integrating a structured daily practice reinforces this approach. A Stoic journal records reflections, progress, and obstacles, encouraging regular self-examination. Meditative reflection inspired by Karma Yoga nurtures awareness of interconnectedness and the intention to act without ego. Mindful breathing, walking meditation, or pausing before responding cultivate detached engagement, aligning thought, intention, and action. Over time, these subtle practices transform ordinary life into a laboratory of discipline, compassion, and presence. Daily life takes on a new texture. Even amid frustration, delay, or conflict, the mind grounded in selfless service finds a calm anchor. Focus shifts from controlling outcomes to performing right action, from craving reward to honoring duty, from reactive emotion to reflective response. Karma Yoga and Stoicism together offer a practical framework to live fully in the present, acting with care and integrity while remaining resilient to life's turbulence. But there is also an unfolding subtlety. As we practice selfless service daily, internal transformation occurs quietly. Patience deepens, irritability softens, and clarity emerges in decisions both mundane and complex. By living in this attentive, detached way, the mind develops a resilient calm, capable of responding to life's unpredictability with grace. Each act of service, whether public or private, external or inward, becomes a meditation, a gesture that strengthens both ethical character and spiritual freedom. Now consider the cumulative effect of these practices over months or years. Work, relationships, and the inner life become imbued with purpose, free from the distraction of craving. Challenges shift from threats to comfort, into opportunities to exercise virtue. A mind trained in detachment and selfless action cultivates a lasting serenity, unaffected by circumstance. Daily routines, once automatic or stressful, transform into continuous exercises in mindful service, discipline, and presence. The subtle power of habitual virtue emerges over time. Intentional selflessness reshapes perception. The mind begins to notice quiet joy in giving, satisfaction in effort offered without expectation, and the deepening sense of inner freedom. Karma Yoga and Stoicism together show that ethical practice is inseparable from mental well-being. Acting without attachment nourishes the spirit while benefiting others. Reflecting on these practices reveals the bridge between philosophy and lived experience. Stoicism and Karma Yoga are not abstract ideals, but practical frameworks for daily life, guiding work, relationships, and personal reflection. Journaling, mindful meditation, reflective detachment, and service-oriented action cultivate depth, balance, and resilience. Each day becomes a canvas for intentional living, each moment an opportunity to practice presence, freedom, and selfless care. Ultimately, this practice fosters quiet confidence. The mind, freed from outcome-driven desire, experiences liberation. The heart, released from expectation, feels expansiveness. Life transforms into a laboratory of wisdom, a continuous rehearsal of virtue, where Karma Yoga and Stoicism converge, guiding every action with clarity, ethical purpose, and enduring inner calm. Now imagine the enduring wisdom of Stoicism and Karma Yoga as it comes alive through the lives of remarkable individuals across time. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, embodies the delicate balance of authority and service. Amid invasions, political intrigue, and personal loss, he carried the weight of an empire with an unwavering commitment to duty, reflecting daily on the principles of virtue, discipline, and selfless responsibility. His meditations reveal a mind striving to act rightly, to serve the greater good, and to remain unshaken by fortune's whims. From his reflections, we learn that service in the face of challenge cultivates strength, resilience, and an inner calm that no external circumstance can fully disturb. Across continents and centuries, Mahatma Gandhi illustrates the living practice of karma yoga through non-violent action. His devotion to the principles of truth, compassion, and selfless service demonstrates that profound change emerges not from power or coercion, but from the disciplined alignment of intention and action. Gandhi's life was a testament to the transformative potential of acting for the collective good without personal attachment. In his campaigns for justice, every gesture, from spinning thread to leading marches, was an offering of effort without expectation, a continuous exercise in mindful service. Now imagine Viktor Frankl, who faced the unimaginable horrors of concentration camps. Amid suffering and loss, he discovered meaning in the simple act of serving others, in offering hope and encouragement even when all else seemed stripped away. Frankl's insight, central to logotherapy, mirrors the Stoic and yogic emphasis on purpose beyond self-interest. The human spirit, when oriented toward helping others, can transcend circumstances and cultivate resilience, dignity, and a profound sense of inner freedom. These lives collectively reveal that the ideals of selfless service and mindful action are not abstract. They are lived realities, capable of shaping character, fortifying the mind, and transforming communities. Bringing historical examples into the present, each of us faces challenges, pressures, and uncertainties in today's fast-paced, interconnected world, a world as turbulent as the one that shaped Stoic and yogic thought. Every day presents opportunities for selfless service, in work, family, friendships, and the wider community. Embracing the Stoic yoga mindset helps us act with clarity and integrity, prioritizing ethical intention over immediate gain, and nurturing a sense of purpose that steadies the heart amid life's flux. Imagine approaching work not merely as a source of income, but as a chance to contribute, completing tasks diligently, collaborating selflessly, and remaining detached from praise or outcomes. Relationships also offer practice, offering support, empathy, and understanding without expecting anything in return. Through these ordinary actions, the principles of Karma Yoga and Stoicism come alive, shaping character and cultivating inner freedom. But there is a deeper dimension as well. Selfless service, grounded in ethical reflection, reinforces the strength of the individual while contributing to the well-being of society. Marcus Aurelius demonstrates that serving the collective can fortify personal virtue. Gandhi shows that ethical action can reshape communities. Frankl exemplifies that meaning arises through service even in suffering. In each case, the practice of acting without attachment produces not only societal benefit, but also psychological resilience and spiritual clarity. These lessons are timeless, reminding us that human flourishing is inseparable from engagement with others in service guided by wisdom. Consider practical ways to bring these lessons into modern life. Daily reflection, journaling, and mindful meditation help clarify intention and cultivate detachment from outcomes. Volunteering, mentoring, or simple acts of kindness turn philosophy into tangible impact. Even small gestures, listening deeply, offering encouragement, performing routine tasks with care, reinforce the habit of selfless action. Through conscious practice, the mind learns to face adversity calmly, approach challenges with equanimity, and live purposefully and ethically. At the same time, consistent practice brings subtle inner transformation. Acting without expectation fosters freedom, serenity, resilience, and an open heart. The combination of Karma Yoga and Stoicism nurtures both personal mastery and meaningful contribution, providing a guide for living fully and wisely. Now imagine the impact if this mindset were adopted widely. Communities become strengthened not merely by laws or institutions, but by the cumulative effect of countless acts of mindful service. Individuals who act from principle rather than attachment shape social norms subtly but powerfully, creating environments of trust, care, and ethical consistency. By serving others without seeking reward, one contributes to a broader tapestry of human flourishing, while simultaneously cultivating inner resilience and peace. From here, the lesson becomes clear. Selfless service is not a passive virtue. It is an active, deliberate, and transformative practice. It reshapes perception, strengthens character, and nurtures calmness and freedom of mind. Historical exemplars and contemporary practitioners alike reveal that acting for the benefit of others, guided by clarity of intention and detachment from outcome, creates a profound alignment between ethical action and personal well-being. The mind becomes steady, the spirit resilient, and the heart expansive, capable of meeting both adversity and opportunity with calm insight. But there is also a future-facing dimension. Each of us today has the opportunity to integrate Stoic yoga principles into our choices, our work, our relationships, and our communities. This is not a distant ideal. It is a practical, living philosophy that informs how we respond to challenges, offer care, and sustain integrity. Every moment of selfless action is both a reflection of inner wisdom and a contribution to the collective good. Over time, these small, deliberate acts accumulate into a life characterized by purpose, calm, and ethical clarity. Finally, as we reflect on these lessons from history and today, one insight emerges with particular resonance. The path of selfless service nurtures both society and soul. By engaging with the world through action free from attachment, we cultivate not only resilience and strength, but also a profound sense of inner freedom. Marcus Aurelius, Gandhi, and Frankl each demonstrate that service offered with integrity transforms the individual and ripples outward, creating meaningful impact. The Stoic yoga mindset invites us to carry forward this legacy, reminding us that while circumstances are often beyond control, our choices, intentions, and actions are always within reach, shaping both the world and the self. In the quiet rhythm of life, Karma Yoga and the Stoic mindset converge to teach a profound truth. Living for others does not diminish the self, it restores it. Through acts of selfless service, the mind finds calm, the heart cultivates resilience, and the soul reconnects with its deepest purpose. Each moment becomes an opportunity to act with integrity, presence, and detachment from outcomes, transforming ordinary life into a practice of virtue and inner freedom. Take a moment to reflect on how you can bring selfless service into your daily routine, in work, relationships, or small gestures of care. Subscribe to Stoic Dhamma to continue exploring these paths of wisdom, and stay tuned for our next journey into courage. Real courage means knowing what not to fear.
References 1. Aurelius M. 2002. Meditations, G. Long, trans. Dover Publications. Point 2. Iswaran E. 2007. The Bhagavad Gita. Nilgiri Press. Point 3. Seneca. 2010. Letters from a Stoic, R. Campbell, trans. Penguin Classics.